Srimati Sri Varaha Mahadeshikaya Namaha, Srimati Sri Ranganamani Mahadeshikaya Namaha, Srimati Sri Vedanta Ramani Mahadeshikaya Namaha, Srimati Nigamanta Mahadeshikaya Namaha, Srimati Ramanujaya Namaha. First, let tell the Taniyans of Kulashekara Alvar. Gushyate yasya nagare rangayatra dhine dine tamaham shirasa vande rajanam Kulashekaram. Among the 12 Arvars, Kulashekara Arvar is one of the Arvar, or is the Arvar, was written is Prabandham, in Tamil Prabandham, um, as well as he has written a Sanskrit slokam called Mukundamala Stotram. In this Mukundamala Stotram is basically, this Stotram is actually celebrating the Nama Sankirtana, Nama Siddhantam, that we used to call Perumal by name like Keshava, Madhava, Sridhara, Rishikesha, like that. So this Pasuram is actually, Mukundamala Stotram is celebrating that Nama Siddhantam. It's basically, it's asking all the Chetanas, like the Jivans that we are, to offer prapatti and to keep always thinking about the lotus feet of Sriman Narayana. Keep thinking about his feet and surrender to him. As Perumal is with Mahalakshmi all the time, it's actually this whole Pasuram, this whole Stotram is a celebration of our Sri Sampradayam. That's the overall summary of this Mukundamala Stotram. So in that we will see some 3 or 4 slokas. Was actually sung by Anuradha Mami in the video before. So let's see those 4 slokams and see quickly the meanings of those. So before telling each meaning of those slokas quickly, let's recite that slokam. The first slokam was which we are selecting is Jigbe Kirtaya Keshavam Muradipum Cheto Bhajastridharam Panidvandva Samarchayachyutakataha Strotradvayatvam Shrunu Krishnam Lokaya Lochanadvayam Arer Gacchangri Jigragrana Mukunda Pada Tulasihim Murdhannamadokshajam. So in this Pasuram, basically Kulasekara Alvar is trying to control his sense organs. Sense organs meanings the tongue, ears, eye, and legs, nose, head, and everything. And mind. He's basically trying to control those sense organs and meditate on Lord Ranganatha always. So the first, he's appealing um, to each of those sense organs to meditate on Lord Ranganatha. So if you see first the Jigve Kirtaya Keshavam, so his first appeal goes to his tongue. He's asking his tongue to always praise Lord Ranganatha. Say Keshava. Keep telling Keshava and then keep meditating on Lord Ranganatha is what he's telling first. Then Muraripum Cheto Bhajas Sridharam. So here he is asking his mind, Cheto, Chit, his mind, to think about Krishna, who is the destroyer of the enemy called Muran. Muraripum Cheto Bhajas Sridharam. So that's what he says. Then Pani Dvandva Samarchayach. So Dvandva means 2, right? He's asking his 2 hands to basically, do archana with tulasi leaves and flowers um, to Lord Ranganatha, So that's what he's asking his hands to do. Then Achyuta Kataha Strotra Dvayapvam Shrunu. So he's basically asking his ears to always hear the stories of Achyuta. That Kirtanam, he is asking his ears to always hear that Kirtana. Then Krishnam Lokaya Lochana Dvaya. He's asking his eyes to see the beauty of Lord Ranganatha. The Lochana Dvaya, right? It says, you have to enjoy the beauty of Lord Ranganatha. His pair of eyes is asking to do. Then Hare Gachangri Yugmalayam is basically, as Perumal is come in the Kali Yuga as Archamurti, he is asking his two legs, his legs to walk and then go and see the Archamurti of Lord Ranganatha. Then Jigragrana Mukunda Pada Tulasim is basically asking his nose to smell um, the tulasi garland, tulasi leaves that is surrounding the holy feet of Lord Ranganatha. So that perfume, it's asking his nose to smell that. Then finally he's saying Murdhan Namadokshajam is basically is asking his head to bend completely and surrender and then offer his namaskaram to Lord Ranganatha. So so it's basically he's asking each one of his sense organs to meditate on Lord Ranganatha. That's what we as Chetanas should do. Perumal has given this eyes, this mind, this ears, this nose, this mouth, and this legs and hands. It's only for the purpose of doing Kainkariam to Perumal, Sriman Narayana. So that's what this Pasuram says. Let's go to the next one. Next Pasuram was ये लोकाश्चुनुत प्रसूति मरणव्याधे चिकित्सामिमाम् योगज्ञाः समुदाहरन्ति मुनयः यां याज्ञवल्क्यादयः अन्तर्ज्योतिरमेयमेकममृतम् कृष्णाख्यमापीयताम् तत्पीदं परमौषधं वितनुते निर्वाणमात्यन्तिकम्. So in this is basically Kulasekara Alvar is talking to the whole world. He's talking to the whole world, saying um, every one of you should listen that Lord Krishna or Sriman Narayana, he is the complete cure for all diseases. The main disease being we're all born in this samsaric life and we are going through this life and death cycle. So that's the biggest disease that we all have. If you think about corona or other things, the biggest ever disease that we all have is that life and cycle death. So he is saying that, to the whole world, you listen to the sages, listen to the sages like Yajnavalkya is one of the greatest sage. All those sages are basically telling that, the main medicine to cure the samsaric life, the life and death cycle that we are going through is nothing but Lord Krishna. So he is the medicine. So he is the medicine that we always have to think. And they're comparing, basically, they're comparing Veding Krishna to the powerful medicine that will cure this disease. So because when we think about Krishna, he is like a nectar, is immeasurable in his qualities that will cure this whole life and death cycle. So, so it has been when you say, if you have a corona medicine to come out, they are doing all kinds of testing, right, to make sure FDA authorizes and so on. So, like that, this Krishna medicine, which is curing this life and death cycle, has been tested by many sages like Yagyavalkya and so many people. So if you're saying FDA is saying go and put this vaccine, you're not asking any question. You're just going and putting it because it's been tested by the right people. Like that, our Vedas, when it says something like it has been tested, it has been felt, and by those great sages. So you have to just listen to it and pray to Lord Krishna, who is the medicine for this biggest disease ever. Okay, that's what that particular slokam is saying. Last slokam we'll see. कृष्णो रक्षतु नो जगत्त्रय गुरुः कृष्णं नमस्याम्यहम् कृष्णे नामरशत्रवो विनिहताः कृष्णाय तस्मै नमः कृष्णादेव समुत्थितं जगदिदं कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम् कृष्णे तिष्ठति सर्वमेतदखिलम् ये कृष्ण रक्षस्व माम्. So in this Pasaram, Kulasekara Alvar, it completely tells two different things. One is obviously is Krishna Bhakti. I know Kulasekara Alvar has sung more about, is like a Rama Bhakta, but both Rama and Krishna is the same. But in this Mukundamala is poured, is shown is bhakti towards Krishna. Now that's especially this particular slokam tells how much he is love towards bhakti towards Lord Krishna. And other thing it shows is, in Sanskrit language there are grammatically there are some eight um, there are vibhaktis. They call it as a vibhaktis. Like the nouns that we call in a grammar, right? So that's in Sanskrit we call as vibhakti. So in this, if you see Krishno Rakshatuno Jagatreya Guruhu, it tells about the Pratama Vibhakti. It's basically saying let that Krishna, who is the supreme Godhead of this three universe, protect us. Okay, so that's telling like we don't want to go grammatically. There are some um, cases like nominative case, noun case, accusative case, instrumental case, something like that. In English also. But let's say vibhakti now. So Pratama vibhakti is telling uh, Krishno Rakshatuno Jagatreya Guruhu. Then Krishnam Namasyamiham is basically saying I salute Krishna, right? It's the Dvitiya vibhakti. Then Tritiya vibhakti is Krishne Namara Shatravo Vinihataha. It tells about I actually he is thinking about uh, the Dushta Nigraha quality, which basically he is destroying all these enemies. So Shatravo Vinihataha, right? Is thinking about that action that Krishna is performing. That's a Tritiya vibhakti. Chaturthi Vibhakti is Krishnaya Tasmai Namaha. That Krishna, who is the destroyer of all these enemies, I am actually saluting him or praying him. That's a Chaturthi Vibhakti. Krishnaya Tasmai Namaha. Then Krishna Deva Samuttitam Jagadidam. This is the Panchama Vibhakti. So in that Panchama Vibhakti is basically saying the whole universe Jagadidam, right? It originated. Krishna Deva Samuttitam Jagadidam. It actually originated from Krishna, is saying, right? So that's the Panchama Vibhakti. Then the Shashti Vibhakti is Krishnasya Dasosmyaham. Basically, like him, like we, everybody, all the Chetanas and the Chetanas, we're all Shesha Bhuta of Lord Krishna. It's like we are all the servant of Lord Krishna. That's what he's saying. Then Saptama Vibhakti is the seventh Vibhakti is Krishne Tishtati Sarvameta Dakilam. It's basically previously which he said, all universe originated from Krishna. This particular thing is saying is everything is rooted to Krishna, right? The whole universe is rooted in Krishna. So that's what it's saying, Tishtati Sarvameta. Ye Krishna Rakshasvamam. It's basically finally is closing out this pasaram by saying, because he is being so thinking about Krishna, all those blissful thinking has been overcome, and is basically saying, he humbly asking Lord Krishna to protect all of us. So it basically the whole pasaram, it tells about the grammatical thing of Sanskrit as well as the Krishna Bhakti of Kulasekara Alvar. So there are so many, there are 40 slokams in Mukundamala Stotram. So each one of them is like a gem. Um, uh, when we read this, when we come to know about this, it actually gives a little bit of Krishna Bhakti that Kulasekara Alvar has. So we have to pray through Alvar to get that kind of a bhakti, a little bit of bhakti. To get away from this samsaric life, life and death cycle, and then and pray to the Lord's feet, that Nama Sankirtanam or Nama Siddhantam, that the whole Pasaram is, the whole Mukundamala Sutram summarizing. Let's all think about it, okay? Sri Varaha Mahadishya Namaha, Srimati Sri Rangaramanuja Mahadishya Namaha, Srimati Sri Vedanta Ramanuja Mahadishya Namaha, Srimati Sri Nigamanta Mahadishya Namaha, Srimati Sri Ramanuja Namaha.